Hello BookTube, hello Tudorverse. Welcome back to Tudortember, that wonderful annual event hosted by Bookish Travels and Lil's Vintage World. Last week I talked about some suggested Tudor nonfiction. This week I want to talk about Tudor fiction. First up on the list, Margaret George's Autobiography of Henry VIII with notes from his fool Will Somers. And this dual perspective is really what makes the book a true Tudor classic. It is both the perfect entree to the Tudorverse and also wonderful for people who really know their way around here already. The dual perspective allows Henry to be completely in his own voice, and when he gets off on a little bit of no, that's not quite how it happened, Margaret George allows us to see what's really going on by having Will Somers break in with notes as to, well, no, Henry really didn't get what that was. So it allows it. It is a wonderful experience. I am rereading it currently. I posted on here a couple of other places that it was a BookBub Featured Deal, so it was on a really good sale. And yes, I took advantage of that. I hope that many of you did as well, because it really is worth it. While I'm on the subject of dual perspectives, I'm going to recommend Robin Maxwell's The Secret Diary of Anne Boleyn. Let me confess, the real reason that I am recommending this one is because I should have written it. I kind of did write it. So before I published Jane the Queen, my intention had been to write a novel of Anne Boleyn, specifically The Secret Diary of Anne Boleyn, and it was going to be in two different, similar to the Margaret George trick of, it was going to be obviously Anne Boleyn's diary as read to Elizabeth, so that you would have that additional perspective. This was back in the late 1990s. I ended up writing about 150 pages worth, and I was researching a particular point, and all of a sudden I came across a book called The Secret Diary of Anne Boleyn, which had just been published. My cover, what I had conceptualized as my cover, my same everything. This was my book. The best part of this story, I mean, okay, obviously I went into a little bit of a depression at that point because the book that I had been intending to write for 20 years had just been written and published by someone else. Came out of that deciding to go on and write about Jane Seymour. You know, it's an extra year and a half. How different could it be? The best part of this story is later on, during COVID, we ended up, there was a group of us, authors, who put together a weekly happy hour on Thursdays, and you know, anybody could invite anyone, and it was a wonderful way to spend a lot of lockdown time. And one week somebody brought Robin Maxwell, so I got to tell her that story, and she listened very kindly, and then she just kind of nodded and said, you know, you're the third person to tell me that story. So point being, this is a book that belongs in the Tudorverse, and should just, it's a fun idea to read. Moving on the list, kind of around the whole Anne Boleyn, Wolf Hall, the Wolf Hall trilogy, any one of the three, Hilary Mantel, you really should not miss it. The three books are absolutely amazing. They absolutely belong on your shelves. And I used to be a lawyer decades ago, so I don't feel comfortable guaranteeing that you will love them, but I guarantee you will love them. Philippa Gregory, The Other Boleyn Girl. I do love a good Philippa Gregory story, but I'm a little bit picky as to which one, because she doesn't really like Elizabeth, and I have a little bit of a hard time with that. I mean, let's be real, Hilary Mantel doesn't really like Jane Seymour, but that doesn't bother me quite so much. Philippa Gregory, The Other Boleyn Girl, we don't have that problem. Go ahead, you will enjoy it. Mystery lovers, C.J. Sansom does an entire series, the Matthew Shardlake stories, and it is the kind of thing that he gets, because Matthew Shardlake is not central to court, he's able to bring in a much wider range of Tudor stories than a lot of the other ones that I've been talking about, which have all been court-centered. While we're talking about a wide range, I'm going to throw in one that you might not think of as being a Tudor story, but I will argue that it is Shogun. It is, okay, it is my favorite book. And I'm kind of pushing it into the Tudor, a Tudor series, but hear me out. John Blackthorne is an English pilot in the Tudor era. When he lands in Japan, Japan is under the influence of the Portuguese, the priests, and you get, because he needs to understand Japan, and Japan needs to understand him, you really get a true understanding of a Tudor existence as much as you do of Japan. So I will push that. Finally, I'm going to mention one more. My book, The Boy King, just started its own BookBub Featured Deal today to honor its 5th bookiversary. So for the next, I think it's 3 weeks, it's going to be on sale. It'll be 99 cents or 99 of whatever currency you're dealing with. So I don't know. I'm putting it on the list for those of you who have been curious. And that's it. That is my suggested Tudor fiction. I hope you enjoy. Let me know if you've read these. Let me know if you're going to read them, and let me know once you've had. Enjoy. Thanks.